Hello, Entheos Middle School. It's another fabulous first chapter Friday coming at you from my classroom, right by the maps. Today, I'm introducing a book I loved when I first read it, and it is called Enna Burning. It's by Shannon Hale. She's written several novels about a country that she's made up. And I really like Bayern is the name of the country that she made up, and I really love her characters. I think their names are fascinating, and they're just really interesting. This one I can recommend to both boys and girls. So Enna Burning, just an idea. Enna has a gift. It's a fire-speaking gift, and it's kind of also a curse. She has to learn how to control it, because if she doesn't, it can destroy her. Interesting, right? So, and I think Shannon Hale, I've listened to her speak before. I think she's a really gifted author. There's only one book of hers that I was like, why did you write that? That's garbage. But it's okay. I'm not a published author, so it's fine. This is the first 5 minutes of Enna Burning.
Audio presents Enna Burning by Shannon Hale.
Prologue. The woman bore a scorch mark from her chin to her brow. The vision in her left eye was still blurry, as though she were looking through a scratched pane. She had been walking away from the burning for a few weeks by now, and so supposed the eye would never heal, even if she lived long enough to give it time. Closing her bad eye, she squinted to see where she was going. There was a patch of greenness on the horizon that stretched into the east. A forest. Perhaps that would be far enough away. As the woman walked, she leaked fire unawares, and the dead riverwood occasionally smoked beside her or crackled into flame. Once or twice, to ease the burning, the woman threw herself into the stream beside her path, choking on the water and weeping as the stream took away her heat. It was hard to get back up after that, but memory of the horrors she left behind drove her on. Her skin twitched to remember hot ash falling. Her eyes roved as though watching again and again the village in flames. She clutched the sack containing the vellum tighter to her chest, remembered her purpose, and walked faster. She walked until the wet forest air enclosed her and washed the scorched smell from her hair. She walked until she fell. Then she dug where she fell, pulling away handfuls of soil from under a young fir tree. "Here," she said, talking to the fir. "Keep this." The woman unrolled the oiled cloth and took out the vellum, looking again at the writing that had started the end of her everything. It was still in beautiful condition, though the vellum had been made from lambskin in her mother's time. Tight, delicate writing filled its face, each black stroke bleeding tiny lines, thin as spider's legs, each word stitched together in a lacework of ink. Glancing over it again, she sobbed once at the beauty of the knowledge it held. Her eyes stung, and the fever burned away any tears. She loved the fire, loved it more than her own flesh now. Destroying the vellum and the truth it held seemed a hopeless gesture. Deep inside, behind her scorched eye, she knew she probably should. But no, she would hide it to prevent destruction like the kind she had caused. And she would hide it so that perhaps one day someone with the talent to learn could read it and know its goodness. She prayed it might be someone stronger than she. She wrapped the vellum back in its cloth, then slipped both into the slim clay pot she had used for water, burying the tiny coffin beneath the pine. The woman lay down and let herself relax deep inside, where for so long she had trembled to hold the fire at bay. Her control broke like a tree limb under too much weight, and the snap made her cry out. Heat poured from her chest and pressed out against her skin, burning her as she had burned others. Her blurred eye went dark. Her good eye saw gold, and the forest pulsed with life, then stilled under a winding breeze. She rested her head on the ground. The pine needles, pressing into her cheek, began to crackle. Smoke rose in fragile tendrils, and she watched them rise until she could at last give in fully and die. Part 1.
Okay. So that was the prologue, and then part 1 starts with Enna. And she's just barely learning about this gift of fire speaking. So that person that died and had the vellum was not Enna. So it's a different character. Okay. Make sure to answer the questions.